What we're looking at here today is a 36-inch view fan industrial style ceiling fan. This one here is probably from the mid to late 1980s. The fan is powered with a 5-speed wall control. View fans of this era were definitely lackluster in terms of quality. The ones from the early 80s, late 70s were, pretty decent since they used cast iron motors and were a definitely high quality fan. But over time in the 80s, their quality just went way downhill, pretty fast too. It's pretty wild how fast the quality goes just in a few years from something from the early 80s to something from the mid 80s with View Fan. So this one here, these were a pretty inexpensive fan, even sold new, but you definitely get what you pay for. The blades on the fan are steel. They're stamped steel, even where it attaches to the motor is also part of the blade. It's all one piece typically on these industrial fans. There's a heavier gauge steel iron that is riveted onto the blade, but this one here is a solid stamped steel piece, which makes it very easy to bend those blades. They are actually quite bent, so I had to realign it, which I got in pretty good alignment. As you can tell by the plastic nipple on the bottom, the fan is light adaptable. These things come with a 3-speed pull chain variation, which has a switch housing, and they came in this variation here with the wall control. I believe these things are also offered with rolled edge style blades similar to the Daytons of the 90s. This one here has this straight blades with no rolled edge. Those rolled edge helped made it a little bit more safer for a lower ceiling. This one here being a straight blade, if you get your hand caught up in the fan when it's running, it probably won't be very pretty. So, without further ado, let's go and get this thing started. Start it up all the way on low. The motor on this fan is stamped steel. I'm pretty sure this motor is likely designed just for a residential style wood blade fan, because as you can tell, it takes a little bit for it to get up to speed. And you can already hear the bearings hissing. That is par for the course with these things. The bearings were definitely very shit quality. Even out of the box, some of these fans had crappy bearings. They made awful noise even out of the box. Going to take it up to speed number 2. The bearing noise only gets worse the faster the fan goes, of course. Here's speed number 3. And speed number 4. And we'll take it to high. This fan here, I would guess we're probably cranking around 260 RPM. Not maybe even faster than that. As you can tell, it's definitely no slouch. And when it gets up to speed, even though the motor is a tad bit underpowered. And it does throw out a pretty decent breeze. It's actually not a bad air mover, really. How cheap this fan is. And we'll go ahead and let it coast. Show you what the original wall control looks like for it. There probably would have been a label on it. However, it definitely fell off over time. There's actually no label on the top of the motor either anymore. I'm sure there was one, but it's gone now. Now I call these industrial style ceiling fans because of course they look like an industrial with the metal blades and such. But I kind of think these things are surprisingly more marketed for residential use. Because likely these things would have been sold through Kmart or something like, or some sort of retail store brand like that. They weren't at an industrial supply dealer like you or the Enviro fans or the of Dayton's, of course. You know, these are sold through retail stores. Like I said, these metal blade fans of the 80s were more geared for a contemporary look back in the 80s. And expensive, but you know, that's what they called them, contemporary. That's what the cheap Sears 3-blade ceiling fan, that's, you know, an industrial style fan that they offered in the late 70s, very early 80s. They called it the contemporary fan because it was just a 3-wing, no frills fan. Very basic design. The spin down is probably going to take quite a while, so hopefully you got some popcorn and a soda pop handy. Despite these rather rough bearings, they are quite smooth still. I'm not sure if oil would help quiet them down a little bit. They might, but with how just lackluster quality the fan is and the bearings are no different, it probably won't do much. The run capacitor, of course, is housed up in the upper canopy on this fan. The ones with the switch housing, of course, they're in the switch housing, and the canopy on those is different. It has a more low profile canopy that's, you know, has a characteristic design to a view fan. Looks like a CEC Moss canopy, as best I can describe it. This fan here, since it has a capacitor up in the canopy, it uses the bell canopy. And there we go. There was the 36-inch View Fan industrial style ceiling fan from the mid to late 1980s. So thanks for watching, and I do hope you enjoyed this video. And like always, hope we see you next time.